Hey, what's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI, the car shipping business channel. It's Friday, it's noon Central Time. That means it is time for another Cars on the Move. Please do bear with me. I'm still doing some more remote live testing because later this month we're going to be live from a car conference in Vegas. So I got to make sure I'm ready for that. So, this show is all about connecting dealers, auctions, and carriers. People click on ATI, sign up, they get in touch with Ty. They've got startup questions, carriers, brokers, we get dispatchers, we get all kinds of folks that want to learn more about auto transport business, growing it, and making sure that there isn't something they didn't know, checking their blind spots. That's what we do here. So thanks for jumping into the live chat. Please do. There we go. There's the audio for the live chat. Okay, cool. And that's what I'm doing. I'm working out the kinks. So if you see a kink, hear a kink, please let me know because I'm right now I'm testing and getting ready for the show. All right, so that's cool. Also, do me a favor. If you got an extra like, please leave one. Also, you can click share, click copy, grab that YouTube link. And if you want to find out what shows we're talking about, if you want to, maybe you're interested, you should be. We want you to be interested in going to shows. There we go. Mic check 1 2. Autotransportintel.com. Click on sign up. Become an ATI insider. Can you hear the bell? I don't even know if you can hear the bell. I got to find that out too. All right, so let's do this. We're not going to waste any more time. We got Will Morris. He's our special guest today. He's in the live chat saying hello. So let's go check in with Ty. And Ty, buddy, can you see me and hear me okay?
Yes, sir. How about you?
I can see you, I can hear you, and I got the virtual background on this shot, which I normally never have, which gets, odd at the fringes, but maybe I'll be changing that too. But you're in the transport parking lot, Ty. What's going on with you?
It's windy and it's loud. So if you can't hear me, let me know. But I finally made it back to America's Auto Auction, Kansas City, Missouri. Probably my favorite auction. I want to say that again. Probably my favorite auction. Why? I don't get kicked out. They let me hang out in the transport parking lot and do videos to help the transportation carrier community do a better job. That's what we're here for. We're here to educate car haulers, car carriers, auto shippers, whatever you want to call them, guys with trucks that put cars on them. Behind me is one of our buddies, AT Ashby Transport. He's here running around talking to car dealers, making business, loading cars, unloading cars. That's what we do at Cars on the Move on Fridays. We connect carriers, auctions, and dealers. Yeah.
I just coughed into my mic. Hey, do me a favor. It is pretty loud. So as we talk to Will, go ahead and make your way into the lanes if you can. But yeah, that's good to see Ashby. And I knew that. I'm like, I know that truck, AT, Ashby Transport. And that's the thing is, if you've got one of the purposes, here's the live chat again. One of the purposes of the live chat is go ahead and say hello, promote your company, tell us what you're looking for, and the live chat's just going crazy. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do as Ty moves into the lanes, or at least.
Sorry, how's this? This better?
Oh, that is better. Yeah, that is better.
Yeah. I'll stay outside. It's a nice day out.
Well, it is. It's beautiful out. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and bring in Will. I don't have my drum roll or anything. Oh, and there's the. Gosh, I'm all discom. But this is hard. Doing a remote shot, doing like the studio remote. It's hard. But I have to do it because I signed up for this. So let's do this. Let's get this. Stop the screen share. Let's get Will in here and see what's going on with Will. Clicking around like crazy. Discombobulated. Hang on one sec. Where's Will? Check. Okay, here we go. Here's Will. All right. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Really do appreciate it. This is ATI, the Car Shipping Business Channel live testing. Thank you, Two Bears. I see you in there, buddy. Okay, let's go to Will. Will, can you see us and hear us okay?
We've got you. You guys should. I plugged in so we can keep the noise down. The room is a little noisy. We sound okay.
Yeah, no, you're good. Perfect. Thank
Good.
you, Will.
Good afternoon, everyone. And Ty, I got to know before you leave, or what the hell happened to that car back there? How are you going to get that one up on the rig? That's not your
Oh, shit.
handiwork today, was it?
No, I'm wondering why is that here? This isn't Copart or IAA. What are we doing?
It's on its
So, I
way
don't
there.
know.
It looks like, right?
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
Will Morse, their coach, my new mentor. Will, I'm just going to go
Oh,
ahead and make it
easy
public.
there, easy there.
Yeah.
Jay didn't even have a drum roll for me, so yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Will, you've got years on me, a lot of years in the industry as a whole, and one of the hot topics right now that is on my mind is this Carvana ADESA. And I want you to kind of, if you don't mind, just kind of give us some of your thoughts from the industry perspective, and then maybe bring it into how this might impact the car hauler guy.
Yeah, when I heard it earlier this week, right? I checked in with a bunch of people. I think you included. It's like, did we just hear what we just heard? I think it was a surprise to a lot of people, right? And I think you had to double check. You had to call a few of your peers and say, hey, did you hear this? But I think and fundamentally it was and is a property a transaction that took place. I think a very smart one too, right? And this is publicly available information. Mr. Garcia has said it himself that it provided them the opportunity to quickly expand their capacity. So I think fundamentally, or at the base root, what we've seen here is a Carvana's need to scale up. And we're always talking about that, right? How do we grow our business? Well, hell, spend $2.2 billion and you can grow your business quickly, right? So they went from having X number of sites and just added that many more. I watched it here in Western Massachusetts not that long ago. Last summer, Carvana had attempted to get essentially, a big cornfield zone. And I'll tell you that the town of Southwick just didn't want it. I don't know what the reasons were. I'm not from Southwick, but you could see those signs with a no in them, right? No Carvana. And so, and I think in a sense, Southwick did Carvana a favor. Can you imagine if they fought them that hard, and how long it would be for permitting and construction and so forth. So I think in one fell swoop now with this acquisition, they pick up ADESA Boston, and somebody can check me out there, but pound for pound, that's ADESA's largest facility. It's a giant Fisher body plant in Framingham, Massachusetts, right? And if you haven't seen it, it's incredible. I mean, you can Google it and see it. So again, fundamentally at the base, I think what we saw was pretty smart land grab, if you will. But what this does, and I think what we're looking for this week are some of the answers, is it's provided and kind of thrown a wrench in things. There's a lot of change that's going to happen from this, and we don't know yet what that will be. But I look at change very positively. I always have, because that presents opportunity every single time, right? And if you're currently your transport business, you've got a small hub at one of your ADESA auctions, and you're like Ty, it's your favorite place. You're there, you're doing business, and maybe so far you haven't been able to do anything with Carvana. But when they move in, all of a sudden there's some opportunity for you to maybe grow and expand your business. So I would look at this change as being positive. We don't know all of what will happen yet, but again, look at it as an opportunity to grow and expand your business. I think the other thing too that's really key with this is what impact this has on the industry as a whole. Now that's the big question. I don't know that. I don't have the crystal ball, but I'll tell you, there's two big players we haven't heard from yet, right? First of which is Manheim themselves. All right, Manheim and Carvana do business together. It's called Carvana Access. And for any of the dealers that are on, if you want to buy a Carvana car, right, you've got to go through Carvana Access, which is supported by Manheim. All right, so that's pretty simple, I think. What's going to happen to that, right? So we got to wait for Manheim and Carvana Access to make that statement, but that's going to have a big impact on the business, right? And then I think also the other one, a primary competitor in play for Carvana, is Vroom. Vroom does business with ADESA already. Something like 30, 40% of their cars are reconditioned currently at ADESA facilities. So we can see a direct conflict of interest there now. All right. So in terms of what impact it has, I think next week we'll probably hear a little bit more, or maybe at NADA, right? We'll hear a little bit more from those two big players. I'd want to hear more from Vroom, and I certainly want to hear what Carvana, Access, and Manheim are going to do. And then I think thirdly, when you look at KAR, the parent company, okay, pretty smart move on their part as well. They took a very high fixed cost operation, okay, and they've streamlined themselves now to be almost completely digital. And again, they've publicly stated that this was one of the things they wanted to accomplish. All right. So when you look at, who's going to have the upper hand ultimately on top of the bat, right? It may be Car. Remember, they have already backlots, right? Trade Rev, okay? CarWave, all digital platforms, okay? Now they've got a partner with ADESA where they can facilitate more of that. So I think you could see as one of the digital players, again, with three prongs, backlots, CarWave, right? And Trade Rev. I think you could see some expansion there. You'd see that footprint expand. So and kind of the irony of it is that Carvana now will be supporting all of those digital platforms at the physical sites. So I think that's where it is. And again, not to repeat, but I think it's important. Let's keep our powder dry until next week or after NADA when we hear from Manheim and Vroom. I think that's going to tell us a lot, right? So, Ty, do you have any difference on that? I mean, what are you hearing out there? I mean, I know the guys, I know the dealers are saying, well, God damn it, I've been doing business there forever, and I'm not going to give them my business anymore. I think that's short-sighted. I don't think you should be thinking that way, guys. Again, I think there's opportunity. Change presents opportunity, and with that, you've got growth and expansion there. But Ty, what do you hear? What are you hearing out there? What do these guys say?
Well, I like your insight for sure, and I completely agree. So I'm at Kansas City Manheim, or Kansas City America's transport parking lot. Jen, I always forget her last name. She's the sales and marketing manager. I stuck my head in there. It took about 5 minutes of her time. Thank you, Jen. How do you see this impacting you? You're not ADESA, you're not Manheim. I think I see opportunity, lots of opportunity. I see dealers are going to be sending more stuff here. They don't want to play in that playground. So we're spreading the word, we're spreading the message, and we see it as opportunity. That's the feedback I got from the sales manager. Then I ran into, I think his name is Steve. He's a sales rep here at this auction. He's seeing dealers sending more cars. They had about a 65, 67% sale. Their numbers are up. His volume, their sales is still high, in my opinion. I mean, anything above what? Well, you'd know better than I would, but anything above 55, 60% is a good sale, right?
Yeah, and listen, I think Auto Remarketing or one of the publications this morning started using that kind of a cliche phrase, but they mentioned the spring market. Okay, it's easy because you flip the calendar to March. It's spring, I guess, right? Like the sun's out today, the snow's melting here in Connecticut, but there'll come this uptick with the spring market. If it had not softened, but if it had tapered off a little bit over the last the previous 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. And I mean the relative madness that was going on for what guys were paying for trucks and SUVs and clean low mileage cars. I think that has tapered a little bit, and that'll check itself, and we'll see a little bit of a spring market, right? Yeah. And I mean, but that's just a flip of the calendar. We see that every year. This year, is it more pronounced because of the shortage? And we're not talking about chip shortages today and so forth, but all indications are that there really is not a lot of sight in that funnel. I don't know if there's a lot of light there in that tunnel yet. It's still going to be some time. So the demand for that Jeep and that Acadia up there, I mean, it's going to remain high for the next 6 to 8, probably 12 months.
Yeah.
So
well, and so some of the feedback I got from this auction, tying it in. Okay, so America's was recently purchased by Accelerate Group. Accelerate Group's been buying a few here and there. I think 2 so far that I know of. And so I guess you step back and you look what's going to happen. This is really probably the most disruption I've seen in 21 years in my transportation part of the industry. And I look at it and I think, all right, here's what I think I know, which is relationship guy. I'm the relationship guy that's hanging out at the auction, talking to the car dealers, shaking hands, handing out business cards, wearing a t-shirt, transport guy. That's Ty. That's how Ty generates business. That's how Ty grew his business. So as I look at this, and I'm an older gentleman who's been in it a while. Things are changing, and if I'm not paying attention, Will, I really feel like I'm going to get left behind. And what I mean by that is how do I contact? How do I touch? How do I look somebody in the eye? Right? Contacts, those handshakes really go a long way when we're trying to build a business. So I'm looking at Carvana and I'm saying, okay, are they going to open the doors and let dealers in? Are they going to be weird and keep the doors online only sale? What's Manheim going to do? Who's going to open the doors if ever? Kelly, I always forget her last name. I follow her on LinkedIn. Do you know who I'm talking about, Will?
Yeah, you're breaking up a
really
hair,
cool
but you said
this morning.
you said use Kelly. You
sorry.
said, yeah, you're breaking. He's a little choppy, but
Kelly.
I think Kelly Bianchi, the online auction person.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's who he.
Yeah.
Hey, take over for a second.
Okay, cool.
He's there. Okay,
yeah. He's there. He's checking his Wi-Fi.
Right, and I think what Ty is kind of leaning there towards, Jay, is, and what we're all thinking is, will we be able to continue to do business there? Will we want to do business there? Okay, and I just think it's a little premature. And again, if you look at what's been publicly stated by Mr. Garcia at Carvana, I don't think he has intentions of changing a lot of the model at all. The personnel and the people that we know at our ADESA auctions that we've become friends with over the years, are they going to be there? There's a lot of questions there that kind of have to funnel themselves through. So it's
well, okay. So for example,
take a little more time.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take time. But I think as an industry, from the transportation side, we really should be paying this. I mean, and we are, obviously. We're talking about it now. But okay, how do I get a load from ADESA if I don't know the dealer and if I don't know anybody? How do I get a load or a car? How do I move stuff? You have to use Cars Arrive.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we talked about this last month, I think, in one of the first calls. It was, if you had a traditional model that you built and it was done by the sweat off of your back, and you built a Rolodex, if you will, literally speaking, of business, and you haven't gotten familiar with the digital technologies that are there, then you're going to be behind. You have already had to have made these moves. I was up in Boston, Peabody, Massachusetts, Wednesday with Dana Rogers. Dana and I hadn't seen each other in a long time. Masks are off in Massachusetts. We went up and had a little lunch, and it was great to see each other. And one of the things that's changing, and very quickly, right, is what is going to happen to this space. We see what Carvana has done, right? So if you're a transporter and you've got a hub of one or two auctions that you're working at, and let's just say for a minute that they're not one of the big box auctions. You've got a couple local auctions in the Carolinas or something that you tug cars between, right? You got to start asking those questions. Engage the people that you do know. Ask them what they're hearing. Ask them for feedback. We talked about asking for referrals and so forth, right? And you're gonna, and what's going to happen to some of these larger independent auctions or the mom and pop independent auctions? They just saw what auctions are worth relative in cash value, right? So if you've got a hub of business based locally, be making those sales calls we talked about last month, right? Clean yourself up, take your hat off, get into that general manager's office and sit down with him or her and ask them what they're hearing and planning on and how you can collaborate. Okay, that's something that I don't know if it's not a word that we use a lot in the car auction business or out there on the lot, right? But I think that's something that and that's what we're drilling towards, right? Is to brush this thing up a notch or two and be more communicative with one another, collaborate more, right? And if you haven't made those investments, we're not talking about large sums of money, big capital investments. We're talking about your ability to park that rig, walk inside, and ask that auction what they're thinking, how you can become a part of their new process, right? And I think that's how you're going to have to stay abreast.
I want to say is that I feel like I've really started to notice, just like in anywhere you have kind of cliques and clubs and people that talk to each other, people that don't, and you've got definitely there's a group, it's the large group that wants to go back to the way things were, and then there's this smaller group that is listening, paying attention, and trying to learn the technology, make the relationships, trying to see how this actually is going to work in the future. And so I find it fascinating that we're really, I think we're caught in between those two groups, and we're really pushing towards that future group. I don't want to leave anybody behind. I'm begging people to stay with us and learn these changes. Because, for example, I found a lot of like real negativity about the Carvana um, acquisition just from individuals. And I thought, why immediate negativity on this? I actually think it makes a lot of sense in general, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. That, as I said, I think it's change. It's what it is. It's change, Jay. People don't like change. Let's face it, right? I mean, wherever you get your hair cut or something, that old gent retires or burns down some night. All of a sudden, you're presented with this incredible check. Where are we going to get my hair cut? Well, you're going to have to shop around. You dummy. You probably should have been doing that already. The guy was 90 years old. I mean, it was some point or the other. You have to make changes, even if you don't like them, right? So I think what we're sensing right now is that that not fear, but it's uncomfortable. You're on hot coals right now. You don't know where your business is going to go, right? So do things like this, participate in these forums, go knock on doors, and then expand your circle of peers and collaborate more, not to repeat. And I think maybe that leads us to NADA, right? Like, and I don't know how many of the biggest players in the transport industry are there. I never really followed an NADA. I've probably only been to 5, maybe 6 NADAs, and I'll tell you, this year, I mean, that this Carvana thing obviously is going to put a big wrinkle in it. It's almost like the speech the president made the other night. That, he wasn't planning on Ukraine, and then it happened. Well, he should have been planning on Ukraine, but I digress, right? So it's, you plan on going into NADA with what you were going to pitch. I think the whole thing is shifted, right? So you're going to get out there, and to me, probably the primary function of NADA, if you're a participant, let's look at it like you've got a pass, you're like a press pass, or you're a vendor and you want to walk around the halls. I think there are 3 things, Jay, that I would do, right? And this is based on some experience. I'd be at a booth. It would be my time off. I got a couple hours off. You grab something to eat, and then you say, okay, I'm going to go shopping, right? You're going to go out and look and see what's out there. And there were 3 things that I always look for. And first was to go to the company that had the largest footprint. I always wanted to see that, right? And then it began, I'd sit there and then standing back, I wouldn't go up and get my badge scanner. And you'd stand back there and watch, and you look at these edifices, sticking out of the convention floor, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I said to myself, if I'm doing business with that company, right, and they've got that in their budget, I'd want to go up there and ask them for a discount. Hey, right? I mean, go up and say, Jesus, things are good. I'm paying you guys a lot of money each month. I can see why now, right? So, and that's not a jab at any one of them. I'm not naming any company, right? But NADA is an exposition. It's a sales tool for them. But that's just something I've learned, okay? Because the big companies do have the money, and they're showing that. It doesn't hurt to go up and say, hey, I'm a customer of yours. Maybe I should re-up. And by the way, things look like they're pretty good here. Can we renegotiate? So I literally would look at NADA that way. It's a great way to go shop, right? And to be competitive. Secondly, and if you're in the business of hiring people, or you yourself are looking maybe to change careers, it's an incredible recruiting format, obviously, right? And we talked about professionalism, right, Ty, a couple of weeks ago. You got to be on good behavior, and I say that smiling. Of course, I never misbehave myself when I'm in Las Vegas, right? But you're out in Vegas. I get it. Maybe it's your first show. We were saying, right? Right, Jay, you want to have some fun. You let your hair down. Jay keeps his pretty bundled up there.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jay keeps his pretty bundled up. Can you see Jay without that rubber band?
I let it down occasionally at the fire pit. And yes, I have made that mistake too. That would be my advice. Yeah, keep your
powder dry while you're out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you're actually representing yourself in your company. And as big as Vegas is, they say, hey, there's that jackass from last night, and you're slumping around the floor at 10 in the morning. And third, you missed some of the educational forums, and that's really what you're there for, is to get smart
stuff.
Right, you're missing stuff. So I look at NADA, and it's an incredible expense. And Dana and I were talking about this. Dana's, he's going to display at NADA this year. It's incredible. Kudos, right? I mean, that's where he scaled his business, guys. Right? There's a guy to mimic, right?
Yeah.
And he's looking at a return on that investment. And so they're going to be sharp, and they're going to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed every morning, and they're going to see if they can get some business out of it. But again, I think it's primarily it's a hell of an education if you haven't been. And although it's fun, and we can have a lot of fun with that. But it is business, and you got to separate the two. So kind of wish I was going this year. My wife said, "Hey, why didn't you
I
sign
know.
up with
I'm
somebody
not
and
going
go
to be
out?"
there
Yeah,
either. Ty's going to be there, and I feel the same way. I have mixed feelings about it, but that's just the way it is sometimes.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
this year didn't work, but I won't miss next year. So, but other than that, I think we probably have a little more weather, believe it or not, here in the Northeast corridor. It always snows. We'll get another nor'easter, right? And that's going to put a wrinkle in that spring market that we talked about. The Carvana news, Manheim and Vroom are going to chime in, right? The market's going to find its pace, right? And when we have, Dana and I were saying this, we went in to get a sandwich down the street from his place, and we were talking about the shortage of cars. We could barely find a place to park at this little deli we're going to. Nothing, just a soup and cracker place, right? And we could barely find a place to park. And we're walking in, and we said, Jesus, there's no shortage of cars anywhere, right? They've all got commercial, residential plates on them. That's where the cars are right now. And that's a whole nother topic maybe for another day, because we see this incredible movement out towards, right, the consumer's car. And that's another one of those things, Ty, like you said, it's like, where is the business going to come from? You really got to gear up that
Let's
way.
do
There's
that
no doubt
one
about
next, Will. Let's
it.
do.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
that's awesome.
yeah. That obviously is a big. I mean, that's this white elephant in the room, right? I mean, how are we? And I like to joke and say, Ty, how are you going to move all those cars? I think the challenge before us is a big one, right? You've got to get down into a neighborhood, to take a left and to a right to get to Maple Street to get this car. There's a lot of challenge there ahead of us, Ty, and Jay, and it's going to take a lot of teamwork to get that mapped out. And we're talking about at the algorithmic level, the software level, and stuff. There's a lot of work to be done there. So we've got to pay attention to that and make sure that we're educating ourselves so we can stay up to speed with it. To me, it's just opportunity, 100% opportunity.
I want to add this is that, so when you're at NADA, and if you're new there, if you're lucky enough to go with your company, or if you're by yourself and you're there, you're really like, wow, I'm finding out what there is. Yeah, I agree with you. Stand near the large booth, then go in, get some information, get a demo, and then move on to the next one. And even like if you need to time yourself, pace yourself, you can lose an hour or two that fast. And there's a lot to see. So much.
So, well, Ty, you'll have to. You got to see who's going to tug that wreck back there. What is it? It looked like a Taurus or something. I couldn't tell. What the hell was that?
I think it's a little neon or something. Let's take a look.
Oh, is it?
We got 1 minute.
We got a little time there. Yeah.
So one of the guys Chevy, some little domestic thing.
Gonna have to get a cable on that and winch it up on there, I guess, right? So.
Work with that, baby. Chevy. I'm going Chevy Cruze. Hold on.
We can see it. There it is. Yeah, there's a Chevy wheel. Sure enough. Wow, that thing's been picked over pretty good. It's right on the money. That one was.
Gosh,
that one
you don't
was right
see that in the auction parking lot as often. That's a rare shot.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, it's not at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean off of Portugal.
Oh my gosh!
Volkswagen and all those cars they lost. What a mess.
The Felicity Ace. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Wow.
So,
want to see this guy take one off the top? Can you see it?
Yeah, we see him up there.
Okay, yeah.
Don't distract him. Don't distract him.
Yeah, we better leave him alone.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm excited, like always, about everything because Will's right. There's a ton of opportunity right here. Ton. So be ready. That's all I got.
Absolutely. To say. Keep your ears peeled. We'll know more next week or after NADA. And again, I want to hear from Manheim and Vroom because that's two's company, three's a crowd, right? So we're gonna see a major shift there. Something something
and CarMax. I want to know what CarMax has to say.
Yeah, you haven't heard from them, right? There's a company that keeps their powder dry. They're over there, right? And going about their business. So it's one of those trucks. I took a shot. I was on the Mass Pike the other day and I saw a CarMax rig, and they've got a 7. They never have one up top. They can only get 7 on theirs, and he was rolling, probably going up towards Northborough, Massachusetts, to drop there. So CarMax is very quietly plotting, going about their thing as well. So all good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
All good.
All right. Well, everybody, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Tuesday night, actually.
Tuesday night. Ty's on Tuesday night, so please do join us if you get the chance. Say
Be
hello
Yeah,
in
safe.
the
that'll be
live
a good
chat.
one.
Thank you,
All right.
Will. Thank
Thanks,
you so
Will.
much. Have a
No,
great
Thanks,
no,
Jay.
thank
weekend,
you,
everybody.
everybody. Yeah, have a good weekend. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye, Jay.
All right, see you guys later. All right, I'm ending the meeting right there. We'll go back to we'll see if camera one will pick up here. Mic check 1 2. Got camera one. Yeah, so Tuesday night we have a big show with Ty Thompson on the move. And please do join us if you get the chance. Again, I'm remote live testing. So if you saw us and heard us and it was 80% or better as far as quality, I will take that. That's awesome. Just testing things out. Going to go live in a few weeks from Car Conference in Vegas. Guys, thanks so much for saying hello in the live chat. Of course, please send in the news, send in your emails. Let us know how we can help you. Darren, keep us posted on your rig. Is it RCG? I think it's RCG. And yeah, Ryan knows that'll buff out. Sure. Put a couple doors on it and you're going. And that's it, man. That's it. So thank you guys so much. That's it. 30 minutes. Cars on the Move every Friday at noon Central Time, where we connect dealers, auctions, and carriers. You guys have a good weekend. I hope it's warm wherever you are. Please enjoy it, and we'll see you Tuesday night. Please do tune in. We'll see you then. Thanks so much.